Hello everyone, I am Vikramaditya and I will be explaining you the composite design pattern. First, I will be giving you the definition followed by the UML diagram. Then I will be showing you the diagram representation of my code, followed by the explanation for the code I have written. And finally, I will be showing you how the code is actually running in the memory. First, the definition and its usage. So the composite design pattern comes under structural patterns. This design pattern describes that a group of objects are treated the same way as a single instance of an object. This design pattern composes all of its objects into a tree-like structure to represent the part-whole hierarchy. So a client who is using the composite design pattern is able to uniformly treat and manipulate each object in the structure. This is the unified modeling language diagram of the composite design pattern. So you have three parts here: the component, the leaf, and the composite. So basically the component here is an abstract class, meaning it will have an pure virtual function. So the leaf here is like the child element and the composite here is the group. So you can see you can see the pure virtual function here getting redefined in each of the classes that it is getting inherited to. So I've shown the inheritance for the leaf and the composite via this arrow here. And to represent the instance level relationship, you can see that a composite will contain zero to many component, whereas as I've already told, the component here is an abstract class, so it will not be having an object of its own. So I've used something called the parent here. So I'm saying the parent component has only one composite. Moving on. So this is the diagram representation. So I'm actually using the concept of animals here. So I'm actually giving the information as the function to display information of each animal. So there are two parts here, the animal group and the individual animal group. So the individual animal group is the leaf here, whereas the animal group is the composite. So I've shown the black lines here saying the group can contain individual animals. The point here to be noted is the animal group can itself contain an animal group, which may not be clear in the first side, but it will be eventually clear when you see the code. So this is how I've done my code. I've actually created a reptile group to represent the head part. Then I've given these three groups under the reptiles to be the animal groups and these to be the leaf elements. Now let's run into the code. I'll actually show you what's the code. Yeah, this is the code here. Okay, I'll be minimizing each of these. Okay, so as you can see, this animal class is the component containing the pure virtual function info, which will basically be displaying the information of each of the animal. Then comes the leaf part, the individual animal. You can see it is inheriting the component animal. I have declared the name, type and age as the private variables, and this is the constructor which is basically initializing all of these three private variables based on the parameters that I get. These are the accessor functions to access the private variables. And here is the info part which displays all of these three variables. This is normal. The difficult part comes here, wherein the animal group composite So this animal group is basically inheriting the animal class. You can see the name and the definition followed by the constructor initializing all the private variables, name and definition, the accessor functions, which is pretty normal. The different thing here is I'm trying to use vector to actually store the individual animals for the animal group in the vector, and I'm trying to loop through this vector using an iterator. So here when you see the info part, I'm displaying the animal groups info followed by the loop here, which actually prints out all of its child elements. Here I've used the remove function so to actually remove a child. So that's it for the composite. Here in the main part you can see I'm defining the reptile. Once just a minute, I'll be going to the slide. So I've first defined the reptile. Okay, I've first defined the reptile, as you can see. Then I'm trying to the snake part, then I'm doing the tortoise part, then I'm doing the crocodile part. Now I've defined all of these: cobra, pythons, rattlesnake, and the alligator here. Now when you see, I'm trying to pass all of these into the animal groups respectively. I'll be showing you how this is actually being passed. For now, let's just see what the output of the program would be. So I'll run it. Before I run it, I want to show you, I want to make a point here that the info part is getting printed here, and I am removing the Python element, and then I'm printing it again, basically to show how the remove function is working. So I'll save it. I'm running it. Okay. Okay, so here is the output. I'm printing the reptile first, then I'm printing the reptile first, then the snake, and as you can see, I'm first passing in the snake elements, then I'm passing in the crocodile elements. So you can see, even though you can see the snake, the tortoise, and the crocodile are being passed in the order like this, and then I'm trying to add the child elements here, so which are the alligator and these three parts. So that's the output part. Now let's jump into the slide. Okay, so this is the memory, in memory point of view, how the code has been running. Basically you have a container containing the vector heading in it. Basically this container will have all of its elements stored in the heap part of the memory, while the container itself stays in the stack frame. Now I'm showing the pointer and the iterator here only to mention the difference between the two, but I've not used the pointer anywhere in the program. So as you can see, the pointer stays in the stack part and tries to point to an address in the heap, whereas the iterator itself is created in the heap part, and it points to the memory that is being allocated in the heap. Just a minute. Okay, so yeah, so while I try to loop through all of these, you can see there's a pointer here in the vector, which is basically of the type animal. Now because the leaf and the composite part are inheriting from the component, every object of type composite and leaf is basically contained in the component. So you can see here the iterator, when it tries to loop through all the individual elements, it will give you the same output that we have got. So this is it. Coming back here, you can see, you can notice one more point wherein I've tried to show you 100, 104, basically the non-continuous memory addresses, but in reality they'll be in the same block, which I'll be showing in the next slide. So basically when the iterator comes to an object of animal group here, it will try to go to the animal class. I'm sorry, this will be the animal class. Let me redraw it again. Okay, this will be the animal class. It will go to the animal class, it will do all of its functions, and then when it's trying to go to the individual animal, it will try to go to the individual animal class and do all of its functions, and hence it will be printing out the required info that we need. Okay, so finally I'll this is how it looks in the memory part. The pointers are stored in this, pointers are stored in this manner, this order. So yeah, like I'll be showing you the code, just a minute. Okay, so here I'm trying to pass, yeah, see, yeah, so I'm trying to pass in, the snake part here. So I'm yeah, the snake part here, yeah, to the reptile. Then I'm trying to pass in the following three individual animal elements. As you can see, all the three are aligned here, followed by the tortoise, followed by the crocodile, which is getting an alligator leaf. So this is how it will be stored in the memory. So hope I've explained you thoroughly on what a composite design pattern is. Thank you.